Hey guys and gals, Todd from Lowbrow Customs here again. Today we're going to talk about handlebars and grips and stuff like that. And if you like this video, you can subscribe right here. Okay, I know this has been talked about before, but we're going to talk about it again. We do get a lot of questions all the time about dimpled and non-dimpled. Well, for you Harley guys, this is definitely going to apply to you. Most imported makes don't do this. This is a Harley kind of thing. We have a lot of different bars on the website, and there'll be an option for you to choose when you're purchasing your bars that will say dimpled or non-dimpled. If you do have a Harley-Davidson, you should probably choose dimpled, and now I'm going to tell you why. Here's what we're talking about right here. See this indentation on the bottom of the handlebar? That coincides with the wires that are coming out of the switch housing. Obviously there's no wires in this switch housing because it's been gutted. But at any rate, if it did have wires, when it's installed on the handlebar, the wires need someplace to go. So by having the dimple, they don't pinch the wires. Harley wasn't quite smart enough to figure out any other way to do it. And I can tell you, I have what I've done in the past, and I'll tell you a little tip here, a little secret that some people know, some don't, but you're gonna know now. If you want a bar that you really like a lot and it's not available dimpled, you can take your die grinder if you have one, and you can just cut a slot on here. And that will give the wires someplace to go. Because basically when you put these two halves together, there's a big bundle of wires coming out of here, and it has to have someplace to go. Incidentally, whenever you're changing your bars and you're going to put your master cylinder on, you want to be careful that you're not pinching the wires in between this clamp housing, or that can cause some problems. Even if you don't notice it, it can pinch a wire, and then you push a switch and nothing happens because the wire is getting grounded out, or you blow a fuse. Not a good scene. For you guys with most Japanese and vintage bikes, you'll be fine with a non-dimpled bar. Or like I said, if you find a bar doesn't have a dimple but you really want to run it, you can. Okay, one other thing that I want to talk about here when we're talking about switching handlebars is cable and brake line lengths. I don't know how many times when I worked at the shop I would get handed a work order, would say put these new bars on Joe Smith's motorcycle. I'd push the bike over to my lift, I'd go get the handlebars, I'd go back over and I'd take one look at it and I'd go, I'm pretty confident these are not going to be long enough for these bars that are up here like this when the stock bars are down here like this. So a real easy way to figure this stuff out is you can go to our website. You can see how tall these new bars are. You can take a piece of string, a piece of wire. You can go from where your existing parts are now and kind of run along there and go, okay, is this brake line going to be long enough to get back to my master cylinder on the handlebar, or do I need to order a new brake line? Real simple way to handle brake lines is you can use AN3 fittings. You'll have a fitting that'll thread into here with a banjo, and then you'll have AN3 that'll thread onto that, and then you can run it down to your caliper. Done. Piece of cake. If you want to do a two-piece where you bolt part of it up underneath the bottom tree, you can have a fitting there with two AN3 where you have one going to the caliper, one going to the master cylinder. Pretty simple. Real easy to get the absolute correct perfect length on your brake line. There's a multitude of clutch and throttle cables in oversized lengths. There's also some information on the internet about what bars will go on what bike without swapping any cables or brake lines. So it's something else to take into consideration when doing a bar swap. Is it going to work right, or am I going to have to spend some more money and get some more parts to make it work right, so you're not standing there in your garage with your bars off your bike and discover you can't go for a ride today because your stuff just isn't going to reach your new handlebar. Another thing we get very, very frequently in emails and phone calls is I just received my grips and they're two different sizes. Well, they're made that way on purpose. If you look at these grips, you'll see one is larger than the other. Smaller side is going to go on the end of the bar, 1 inch. The larger side is going to go over your throttle tube. So it has to be a little larger in order to fit over it. I know we talked about this once before in another video. Sometimes it's very easy to remove your old grip from your stock throttle tube and reuse it if you don't want to go through the hassle of that. Or if you just want to save your stock grips and sell them to your buddy or whatever, and just we have these very inexpensive plastic throttle tubes, dual cable, Harley style. Put your new grip on there, bada bing, bada bang. One other thing, when changing grips, a lot of times when I was working at the shop, I'd have a customer bring his bike to the shop and he'd say, hey, I just put new grips on my bike and now my throttle doesn't return the way it used to. And what I would find very frequently is when you are installing new grips, new throttle tube, new bars, what they were doing was they were pushing this all the way onto the bar and tightening everything down so that the end of the grip is touching right here, and it's causing a drag. So when they tried to work the throttle, it wouldn't snap back because it's dragging on the bar. So anytime you're changing bars, putting grips on, as you slide it on, you can feel it, contact. You want to just move it back ever so slightly, and then you'll find once you've adjusted your cables correctly that your throttle will snap back perfectly. That is, of course, after you've lubed your cables when you took it apart. All right, this style bar will accept a riser. We just started stocking these cool new risers. Got a couple different flavors here. Brass, these are for 1-inch bars. They come with some real long bolts. If the bolts are too long for your application, you can cut them down to size. We also have them in black. Once again, for 1-inch bars. A majority of Jap bikes and vintage European bikes will have 7/8 bars. A lot of the bars we stock will have built-in risers like this set from Biltwell. And basically, you don't need any risers for this bar. It's got threads in the bottom where you're going to put it onto your triple tree and put your bolts through the bottom and tighten it on down. Easy peasy. Now, while we're on that subject, majority of Harley-Davidson top triple trees, not all, but majority, will have a center to center of 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches. So if you own a Harley, you're looking at bars, or if you own a Jap bike and you want to know, is this set of bars going to fit on my bike? Well, if you don't have a 3.5 to spread, it's not going to fit. If you have a Harley, you can very easily measure it, and you'll know before you place your order if your bars are going to fit. You're not going to get them and go, oh crap, these don't fit. This isn't the right width. Now, on a riser type bar, not such an issue. The one thing on those is what you want to make sure is that you have enough clamping area. So in other words, as you put the two risers onto the triple tree, is there going to be enough here to put the bar on? Is the bar wide enough for, say you have a Japanese bike or whatever the case may be? You just want to give a quick measure. The majority of the bars on the website will have dimensional drawings. If you see something on there you like, it doesn't have a drawing, or you want to know something that's not depicted, by all means, pick up your telephone, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm here for you guys. Another neat product we got over here we're going to show you. Solid riser bushings. Harleys come with rubber and a metal sleeve down the center. Over time, your bars start going like this. They get a little wobbly. Not a safe situation. Nifty little kit we came up with. Aluminum bushings take the place of your rubber mounts. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Done. Simple, easy to install. Makes your bars super tight. They're never going to get loose without that rubber that's going to wear out in there. Also available on our website, lowbrowcustoms.com. Very reasonably priced. Okay, this is just a small sampling of what we have available on our website. I just kind of wanted to go over the dimpled, non-dimpled thing, the grips being two different sizes. And like I said already in the video, need help with anything? By all means, give me a call. I'm here Monday through Friday, Eastern Time. My name's Todd, and get those new bars on your bike and go for a ride.